All right, welcome back to season 6 of our show, and today it's all about the chicken. We're showing you 2 beautiful chicken dishes with 2 amazing sides. Let's show you how to get it done. Let's give you a rundown of what we have here. We've got some chicken thighs and chicken breast. So we're planning on frying up these chicken breasts. I'm going to show you how to keep these nice and juicy and fry them at the same time. The chicken thighs here, they're going to do 2 things. They're making a chicken and rice dish, and they're also making a beautiful stuffing. So this is some of the stuff we have here. We've got some onion, Spanish onion, garlic, carrots, celery, peppers, bell peppers, a couple of different colors there, purple onion, neck bones over there, sausage, and we've got some stale bread, and we're going to show you what to do with that later on. So first thing we need to do is create a stock. I'm making 2 stocks today, one out of the neck bones and one out of the chicken. So first thing we need to do, get the chicken seasoned up. Very simple, salt and pepper. So if you go too hard on these or make a mistake like this, you can fix it. Just go like that, turn it over, it's going in water anyway. So we turn those guys over, pepper these sides, and don't forget we're making a stock, so use a lot of pepper. So I'm going to use that much. Salt, go in with a good amount of that. Plus I'm going to put some more in the water. And like I said, we're making a stock. So you want to heavily salt it because you're going to need that salt inside the broth. All right, we're going to turn them back over and just get those sides. All right, so we got our pressure cooker. We're pressure cookering these down on high. 30 minutes, that's what we're going to do here, and into the cooker they go. So I'm going to get them all in. It'll layer a little bit more salt as I go in, and there we have it. So just layer your salt. Now it looks like a lot of salt, but it's really not, because we're making that stock. And again, some more salt. Diamond crystal, kosher salt. We're gonna go like that with the water. Fill it up real good. I'm going right to the top here because I want a lot of stock. And that's it. We're gonna lock the lid on and pressurize it. And we'll meet you right back here. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, now we're gonna add our other ingredients into here. So we've got some sage. We're gonna put it right down into the cooker. I like sage, so I love that flavor that it gives off. Here's some onion. I'm gonna give a little handful of onion there. That's about a whole onion, a whole small onion. We're gonna go in with some bouillon cube. A couple of the bouillon, carrots, celery. So I just judge it out. And you wanna cut your carrots small enough to hide in your stuffing. So you don't want to pull big carrots out of your stuffing, because don't forget, we're going to use this stock as a stuffing too. So just get those nice and cut up and judge it out. So I think I'm going to go about there with the carrot, maybe a little bit more. Some celery, I'm going to chop that up. I'm going with that. And just feel it out. And watch your max line in your cooker. All right, so I'm going to use some garlic. I'm just going to give it a smash, drop it in. And here you go, you're creating a stock. Nothing more healthier and homemade than your own chicken stock, right? And I'm leaving all those skins on, and we're going to debone and deskin those chickens because we don't want to put skin inside our stuffing. So I'm just going to chop these. A little bit more on the carrot. And that's it. Maybe a little bit more. A little bit more of the celery. And I'm just watching my max line right now. So once it reaches the max line, I'm going to stop putting in. But like I said, judge it out. Here's the rest of the onion. going in with those. And then I'm gonna give this a bit of a shake, and I'm almost at my max line. That means I can add a little bit more carrot. Just like that. And just kind of feel it out. So I'll go in with the rest of my carrot. All right, am I at my max line? I'm almost there, so I got room for one more carrot. And that makes all of my carrots. So this is how long I've been doing this. I'm pretty much eyeballing it, but normally I'd have all this chopped up and throw it in, but you guys won't learn like that. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna take my hands, move them around in there, and I'm spot on. I'm right up to that max line for what I chopped up. All right, so there it is. I'm gonna lock this lid on. I'm gonna meet you guys right back here, show you how to get the rest of this meal together. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, so our homemade chicken stock, it's on its way. We've got it over there in its pressure cooker in a way. And while it's doing that, we're showing you another stock, and this one is a smoked neck bone stock. I'll show you how to do it. I love smoked neck bones. And the reason why I love these is because they're great for stews and soups. And these are smoked and cured by myself. And I'll take these and I'll put them in the refrigerator and I'll save them for up to a week right after I smoke them. I can also freeze these too. They'll last in the freezer for about 6 months. So into the pot we go. Now these are still raw. So we're putting them into a pressure cooker. They were cold smoked and cured, but they still need to be cooked. And the pressure cooker is gonna cook them for about 45 minutes. I'm gonna sprinkle a little red chili flake in there, just for some flavor. And here's an onion. We're gonna cut up an onion. Now, I like stocks with lots of onion. So I'm gonna take the whole onion, get it right in there. It's a big onion too. Nice big yellow onion. And I like big chunks because I'm gonna make beans with this. I'm not sure what bean I'm going with it, but I'm gonna figure it out as we go along, which bean I'm gonna use today. But as long as we get the stock done first, that's everything. Let's go with the water. And I'm going about there. So this is a very concentrated stock. And that's the only water we're using in here. We're gonna add a little bit more water to it later on just to smoothen that out. And that's about it. I'm gonna lock the lid on, let this go for about 45 minutes, and we're gonna show you the rest of the meal. So stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, both cookers are in full effect. We got pressure cooker 1 and 2 running, and we're gonna show you how to fry up some chicken. But before we do that, we gotta cut it up. I'll show you how to do it. Now, I don't normally use chicken breast for frying, but today we've got some company coming over and they love chicken breast, especially the way I make them, which I'm gonna show you how to do right now. I'm gonna move these off to the side, and I'm gonna bring in a couple of our breast. Now, a lot of people will not fry these up. Why? I think you guys all know. They dry out, right? So first I'm gonna take these edges off to the chicken. I put them in a little pot here, and I save these for my doggy. And I come right down the side of the chicken breast where it's been sitting on the side of the bone plate, and I take those pieces off, and I save those for my dog. I look into here, and I'll cut out that little gristly part that's right there. And again, I'll save that for my dog. So now I take it the long way. I'm gonna come this way with it, and I'm just gonna start slicing down. Just like that. And now you have nice strips. So in a basket they go. And I'm gonna do the same thing with all these. I'm gonna look around, cut off these pieces. I call these the dog pieces. And I'm gonna throw them right in the basket. If you don't have a dog, I'd suggest saving them for a nice stock. They come in handy. Or you can just gnaw around them, like we did back in the days. All right, so I'm gonna just cut these up again. Just like that. Some fat on there. And just put them in the basket. But that's how you want to do that, nice small strips. All right, we're gonna get finished cutting these up, and then we're gonna show you how to season these up and get them ready for the beer batter. So stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, we got our chicken nice and cut up. Now it's time to season it. We made a homemade rub, garlic powder, onion powder, a little sage, oregano, and thyme, and paprika. And I always go with a great Hungarian paprika because I just love the color it puts on the food. So we're just gonna mix this up. Now we're making a beer batter for this, so you're not gonna need a binder, but we need seasoning. And I don't skimp on the seasoning. And that's how your food turns out bland, is if you skimp on the seasoning. And then we're also gonna season the batter as well too, so I go half and half. So I'll put some on the chicken and I'll put the rest inside the batter. And there's no salt in this right now because I like to salt at the end. Because once it comes out the fryer and you hit it with the salt, it'll just go right down into the batter and give you some beautiful chicken, and it won't be too salty on you, especially white meat. You have to really watch the sodium level on white meat because white meat can salt up real quick. All right, that's it. So we're gonna get these inside the refrigerator and chill them out. And while we're doing that, we're gonna meet you back here and show you how to put a few more things together. So stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, our chicken has stopped and our neck bones have stopped, and now we have two beautiful stocks. Let's show you what to do from here. So here's our neck bones, and here is our neck bone stock. We separated the two, and now the neck bones are extremely tender. So you can take one of the neck bones and you can just basically pull the meat right off of that. See that? And we're gonna show you what to do with these in just a little bit. This is the chicken stock, and look what we got out of the chicken stock. See that? Gorgeous. And here is our chicken. And now what you wanna start doing, we're gonna start pulling this chicken apart because we're making a gorgeous stuffing to go along with this. So we've got our chicken here. I'm gonna bring in a plate. I'm just gonna pull one of these for now. Skin and all, just leave the skin right in here. And we're just gonna pull this right off the bone. And I'm gonna leave this plate off to the side just so I can feel through. The nice thing about chicken thighs, there's not many bones in here. So you can find your bones immediately when you look through because there's just basically one. And there's two pieces of cartilage on the end. So you can find that cartilage very easily. And you never ever have to worry about anybody choking on a bone because they're thigh bones. So I'll take the skin, put it off to the side there, just because I got a couple of hungry doggies that are gonna want that skin. See that? I'm gonna take this little end of that. And how you will find the two cartilage pieces. So here's the skin, I'm gonna pull that off. And now here's the little cartilage piece on the end. So I'm just gonna get the one end first, drop the meat. So there's the cartilage. I'll flip over this end, and now this end doesn't have it. So we're good. Pull it apart, feel around. Oh, there it is, it's on the end. There it is. Put that off to the side. I got a bone here, and I'll continue on. All right, so now we got some sausage over here because we're making a sausage chicken stuffing. And now I'm gonna go onto the stove, get my hands cleaned up after I pull this apart. And I'm gonna meet you on the stove to fry that up. While I'm working on this, we'll meet you back here. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, so we took that chicken off the bone, and right now we're showing you two dishes that have the same ingredients in common. So the first dish we're gonna make is our sausage and stuffing. So we're gonna need that chicken, we're gonna need this sausage, we're gonna cook this up on the stove right now, and we're making a rice. The rice is gonna have this chicken, that chicken broth, and this sausage in common. So these ingredients right here are bell pepper, I've got some sage, got some garlic, thyme, purple onion. These are going to be the ingredients that are going to flavor the rice. They're also going to flavor the stuffing. So here's our bread that we spent some time breaking up. We broke up some stale bread that I had laying around the house. I love bread, so I always have some stale bread laying around the house. And this was 2 loaves of bread, so can't let that go to waste. That's that. All right, on the stove we go. We're gonna fry up this sausage and show you how to put this together. All right, so we're browning down some of these homemade sausages. These are sage sausages, and I make these myself. So as those start to get some browning on them, we're gonna go in with some onion. We're gonna take care of the onion while we're browning up the sausage. So we'll just get that stirred in. Just like that. Now we're going to cook this down a little bit. I'm going to add some sage. I'm going to add a lot of sage. I like a lot of sage. Now sage doesn't really come out until it hits oil. So if you guys think that you're going to take some sage and just throw it in the pot and magically let the flavor come out, you got to cook it in. So it's going to come out when it hits all these nice oils and you'll smell it. All right, so we're going to cook this down. And once this starts to cook down, we're going to throw in some garlic and all of those vegetables right there. All those bell peppers are going in. And then we're going to meet you back here. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so we have our sausages and our onions cooking down. Now look at this. I've been taking my spoon and just been breaking up the sausage. Just finding them and just breaking them up. I got some little chunks and some big chunks in here, and that's it. Just take your spoon and just break them up. Now I'm going to add some garlic, as much or as little as you guys like. I'm going to add it all because it's going in the rice too. Again, we're sharing this with the rice and the stuffing. I'm going to go in with all of the bell peppers. If I was just putting this in the stuffing of the rice, it'd be way too many. So there we have them. We're going to cook these down and get these soft. And then we're going to put our rice and our stuffing together. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, sausage, peppers, and onions are off the stove. Let's make some sides. So that's what we just had on the stove. We want to even these out. So here's our chicken. I want a lot of chicken inside the stuffing. So I want to go there. Put that off to the side. Here's our mixture. I'm going to start to put our mixture in the stuffing. Like I said, we're sharing this. So we need one out and one in. And I think I want to take it about there. I want a little extra chicken in that stuffing because I want it to just be mostly chicken. And I'll save a quarter of that for the rice. And I'm going to go in with some more of these nice vegetables because the rice doesn't need that much. So we'll just go about there. And now the rest of this chicken, we're going to stick this right in our rice pot. So that's what I mean by we share. That's what we need to make our rice. That amount right there. Got enough peppers in here. So what we'll do is move this off to the side. And now we're just working with our stuffing. So here's the broth. Here's the chicken broth. And now with the chicken broth, I took everything out from the bottom. So I got all the vegetables in here. The carrots, onions. So we're just going to put these right in. And I'm going to save a little bit of those carrots back for our rice. I'll dump that right in there. All right, so there we go. Let's take this, mix it up. Get it nice and evenly mixed. And now it's time to make some stuffing. Look at that beautiful chicken in there. All All right, so now we got that. Here's our bread. I'm gonna bring in a load of that bread. I'm using all of it. I do know my ratios. All right, here's that stock. So we're gonna go in with some of that stock. And we're gonna just start to get this nice and wet up. Turn it. I'm not adding anything else to this. Everything's in it. You got the bell peppers, the onions, the sage, the sausage. Sausage brings a lot of salt, so you don't want to add any more salt. And when this broth was cooling down, I added a stick of butter to it. Almost forgot to mention that. All right, here's dry thyme. I'm gonna put some dry thyme in. I'm just spinning around with the dry thyme. Bring some more flavor to the game. And just let it wet up the bread slowly. Because if you put too much in, it's gonna be too wet. You're not gonna have a good stuffing. It's gonna get mushy on you, and you won't have a light, nice, fluffy dish. All right, so here's some more stock. I'm gonna keep turning and get that bread nice and soft. And leave a couple of nice hard pieces up top for some beautiful crunchies. And everything's in here, so you're not gonna have to grease the pan. I got an oven going right now at 350. And this is pretty much set to go right in. All right, so I gotta add some more liquid because my bread is still hard. This is real bread. This is not the stuff you buy in the box, so you're gonna need a little bit more liquid in here. And being careful not to go over. All right, that should about do it. That's it right there. I'm gonna call it a day on this one. And as it sits, it'll get a little bit more soaked into the bread as it hits that oven. But we're gonna have some pretty nice, light, fluffy stuffing. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna put this off to the side. I'm gonna take a dish, just like that. And I'm gonna start to load in. Give it a stir again. I'm taking the time to let the bread absorb the liquid. So before this goes in the oven, I'm gonna park it right here in this pan and give that bread some time to absorb before I go right into the oven with it. So here we go, right in. Doesn't that look nice? Not gonna go wrong with this one. And I'm gonna leave some nice crunchies on the top. And you want the stuff from the bottom, the wetness from the bottom. You want the wetness on the bottom to be on the top because you want all of that wetness to go down into the stuffing. If you put the wet on the bottom first, it's not going to work out too good because you're going to be stuck with this wet stuffing on the bottom. So what goes up has got to come down, right? So that's how you want to do that. And then I got a couple of nice crunchies on the top here. And that's it. But see my dish here? It's dry. There's nothing wet in there. It's all in here. And this is not soaked. So I'm going to just take this and shape it with my hands while it's in here like a meatloaf. Because you want it to have some form and you want to shape it so it looks pretty. See that? So just take your hands and any moisture that's around here, because you're making this little trench in here, it's going to evaporate and help dry up your dressing, or stuffing in this case. There's no cornbread in here, so if you put cornbread in here, it would be a dressing. All right, and there you have it. But you see how nice it looks in here? And there it is. All right, in the oven, 350, we're going about 25 minutes, 25 minutes, give or take. We'll meet you right back here. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, 350, 25 minutes, maybe even longer. We'll meet you back here. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, that stuffing's in the oven, and with that same mixture, let's cook some rice. So we're using an old school rice today. That's converted rice, Uncle Ben's, what I grew up on. I think a lot of people grew up on Uncle Ben's. So here's that beautiful broth that we did, the chicken broth, and we're gonna use that one more time. So here's the converted rice. Now I've got 4 cups in here. I'm gonna judge this out and see how much rice I want. So right now I've got about a cup. I'm down to 2. And let's just move this rice around and feel this out. I'm looking to see how much rice is gonna fill this beautiful cast iron up. Could use some more rice. I can probably get away with about 3 cups in there and hold back a cup. So there we go. There's 3 cups. I'm gonna mix that in. And now I'm gonna go in with my ladle and put some liquid in here. I am gonna cook it little by little. So I'm just gonna go right up to the level here with it. I'm gonna cook that down and I'm gonna add more as we go along. So we'll meet you on the stove. Don't go anywhere. All right, I let this go for about 5 minutes and I'm starting to see the rice, and I added a little bit more liquid to it. Now I'm gonna drop the lid on and just put it on very low simmer because you want this just to cook slow. It's gonna take a while to cook. It's Uncle Ben's rice, so it should take you about 15-20 minutes, a good 20 minutes anyway. All right, we'll meet you right back here. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, 20 minutes, our rice is done. Take a look at that. You can see everything in there. Now I don't want to disturb it. I'm gonna leave it alone, and then I'll rake it back right before we eat and show you that. All right, let's get those beans on. All right, we've got 5 minutes left on our stuffing. Our rice is finished, and we're showing you how to put together some baby lima beans. All right, so we're using fresh baby lima beans. These take about 30 minutes to cook. Back to that stock. So here is the stock we made for the neck bones. I'm gonna take that nice stock. I'm gonna get it right in here. Now this has everything in there. This has got the entire package. It's got meat, it's got onions, little pepper in there. That's chili flake we put in there. And now I'm gonna just dump the broth right in here. I'm gonna go about right there with it. Now I'm gonna cook these down for about 30 minutes. 25 minutes in, I'm gonna put these neck bones in and we're gonna warm them up. And I'm just gonna put a few of them in. The nice thing about this is that you can have a couple of meals out of this. So tonight we're only having a couple of people eating, so I could just put a couple of these in and warm them up. Basically that's what you're doing because they're fully cooked now. We're gonna cook this up on the stove and we're gonna put some of these in, and then we're gonna meet you back here and fry some chicken. Stick around, don't go anywhere. Time to rotate this. All right, so I'm gonna take a look at this. I'm gonna shake it and see where I'm at. I got a little wiggle in there. Still don't like that wiggle. I'm gonna go a little bit darker on it, but it's done. We'll meet you back here, finish up this meal. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, the neck bones and beans are done. The rice is done, the stuffing's done. Let's bring it home with the fried chicken. So we're making a beer battered fried chicken. Now this was the seasoning that we originally started with that we put on that chicken. So what I'm gonna do is dump the whole thing inside this little basket we have here. Here's a beer. Any beer you like. I'm gonna dump the whole thing in. Now this is an easy way, a foolproof way of making a beer batter without failing. So let's get that mixed up. Now, here's all-purpose flour. So put some all-purpose flour in here, and we're just gonna mix this up. until we hit the right consistency. Now, if you go over, you're going to have to put some more beer in here, but we're going to try not to do that today. So you just keep whisking and adding. See that? It's going to tighten up real quick on you. And as you get it tightened, slow it down. So here we go. I'm going to add just half of that amount now. And I'm going to keep going. So there it is. It's about the right consistency. That's what we're looking for. Now I'm not going to fry all this chicken up today. We're going to have some for tomorrow too, but just for tonight, that'll do. And this is what you're looking for, like that. Maybe a hair tighter, just like that. As it sits, it's going to tighten up a little bit more too, so watch it. All right. And I think we're going to set her down right there. All right. We're heating that oil up to 375 degrees, and with this we go. We'll meet you onto the cooker. Don't go anywhere. All right, our oil's nice and hot. Check out these beans with those neck bones. Beautiful. Time to fry. So I'm going to take a couple of pieces, just like this. I'm going to drop them in very slow. So here we go. Let it dangle for just a little bit, and you're cooking the end of it, and then you can just drop it in. So I don't want to crowd my oil. I'm going to put just a couple of pieces in at a time. Just get that batter off. And then they go. Give it a couple of seconds just to firm up, and then let it drop. If you drop it too fast, you're going to break the batter, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to break the batter. So I go some big, some small, couple in between, give it a couple of seconds to heat back up, and then drop. This is what keeps the white meat nice and juicy. There's a nice beer batter on them. All right, I'm going to finish frying this up. I'm going to meet you back here when we're pulling a couple of pieces out of here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, about 4 minutes in, that's all. 3.5, 4 minutes, that's all you need. They're white meat. And let's get them out of here. I drain them real good because the beer batter will hold oil. So just get them drained real good. Get them on. Now these guys are extremely filling because they got that beer batter on them. So don't be fooled by them because they'll fill you up real quick. That's one of the downfalls to beer batter. You'll get full off of it real quick. That's why restaurants serve it. All right, I'm going to fry up the rest of this and meet you guys for dinner, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, and here we are, Season 6's chopping block. Beer battered chicken and beautiful southern sides. Let's show you what we got. Nice, crispy, crunchy beer butter chicken. And take a look at these beans with those neck bones. Now this is the way I had them as a kid. I ate them like this probably once a month. One of my favorite ways to have them with the neck bones inside. Look at that stuffing. That came out phenomenal. And then our rice. Nice color on that one. Let's get into it. Let's get this off to the side. Let's bring in a bowl and a plate. So let's bowl up. I'm gonna get some of these nice beans in here. Now this is the way I serve them. Just like this. I put a couple of those neck bones in there. And just fill it up with these nice baby limas. Can't go wrong with this one. Let's get down in here and get some of those limas. We got a little liquid on the bottom of here too. So I just dig down, get all the liquid, and I got the little stragglies on the top like this. Now this thing is filled through and through with these bones. Alright, so I'll just plate up like that. And put a little bit more height on there. And that's it. That completes your plate. And you don't need to decorate that because that's Southern style right there. Alright, let's get into that stuffing. Look at this. I like the corners. And we're just going to get a nice big heaping spoon of that. Go for a little bit more. Why not, right? Very easy, simple dish to make. And go for a couple of pieces. I'll park it on this side, like that. Maybe one little tiny more. One more on there. I'll put it like that. And then we got room for some of that beautiful rice. Actually, I'll put the chicken over here so we get our rice in. We're gonna add some of that nice fluffy rice on here. See, it came out really fluffy. And you can see all those nice chicken bits in there and the sausage. I'm gonna get a little bit more sausage down there. Get us a nice plate in here. Alright. Alright, so there we go. Let's get into this chicken. I'm gonna just take my knife, cut into here. I'll show you this. Look at that, nice, light, and fluffy, and it's very juicy. By no means am I a breast person. This is the only way I'll eat them. Beer battered, just like that. Phenomenal way how to have them. You guys gotta try that. They remain juicy, moist, succulent. That's the way to go. All right, let's try that stuffing. Wow, that homemade stock, that bread, the leftover bread, you cannot get the texture from any other bread besides old stale bread that you have laying around the house that works beautifully with that dish. The sausage, the onions, the peppers in there. Just a great dish to have. Really earthy and warm and cozy. Excellent. All right, let's try that rice. Talk about a marriage of flavors. Those two marry each other outstandingly. All the same flavors combined in two different dishes you cannot go wrong with. The sausage, the peppers, they all just work well with each other and they tie those two dishes right together. You have to try this one. Superior, outstanding. Let's try those beans. This is a bone, so what I do is take my fork and just get that meat right off of that, followed by some of those nice beans. I go right in. Neck bones and baby lima beans go together phenomenally. This dish is a childhood dish. I could never ever get tired of eating this. Down home, cozy, southern dish. All right, we're gonna get organized. We're gonna meet you guys right back here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, and there it is. Beer battered chicken breast. So if you guys ever wanted to know how to keep those breasts juicy and moist without drying them out, frying them, now you just found out. We served up some beautiful rice. That will be my version of a dirty rice. Stuffing on the side. And we brought all those flavors together using the same ingredients. We threw down with some beautiful lima beans and neck bones. And that was a childhood dish that I always had and still have to this day. I hope you guys love this one. We always enjoy having you guys. And until the next time, gotta get that last Pitmaster taster.